Hello everybody, my name is Christy Coloutti. I am the principal of Rutland Intermediate School. Last year I was at Northwest, but this year I'm at the Intermediate School. I am here with our first episode of the Rutland City Learning Lounge, and I have some ladies here from our central office. Super excited to have them join us. So I will start by having them introduce themselves.
Hi everyone, I am Pam Reed and I am the Superintendent of Schools for Rutland City.
My name's Bianca McKean. I am the Assistant Superintendent for Rutland City Public Schools.
And I'm Carrie Corse, the Director of Support Services for Rutland City Public Schools.
So I thought it was really important to, we've been in the district, all of us, at different roles and things like that, so I thought it would be important. So new roles, so people know who you are and what you do. Do you want to just start, maybe just a little quick highlight of what you do in your roles?
Sure. As the superintendent, I'm responsible to oversee the educational opportunities and experiences for our children, making sure that our staff have what they need to meet the needs of our students every day.
Perfect.
In the Assistant Superintendent's office, it's a variety of different things, including I basically serve as the Director for Curriculum, Instruction, and Assessment. I'm also the homeless liaison, so if we have any students experiencing homelessness, I work with those families and other districts to try to provide supports. Work to hire guest teachers if anybody out there is interested in applying to be a guest teacher or guest nurse or any other positions in our district. We would love to have you chat with us about that. And then just really supporting our schools along with this team and the building principals and our teachers to continue to make improvements towards the learning of our students.
And you might think there's not much else to do after that. But as the Director of Support Services, I oversee all things special education, making sure that the supports are in place for students that need them, as well as supporting all staff, but with a focus on our special education staff.
Perfect. All right, Superintendent Reed, maybe I'll start with you just talking about what are some of the district's priorities for the year or things that we've been working on over the last couple of years?
I feel very fortunate in that when I came into this position, I've been in the district for 15 years. I actually total 18, but I left for a little bit. But in that time, back in 2022, we started a process where the community gave a wholehearted look at what do we want our students to learn while they're here in Rutland City, what character traits do we want to develop. We developed something called a Portrait of a Graduate. And in that, we identified key character traits of adaptability. We want our children to be collaborative. We want our graduates to be effective communicators and critical thinkers who have empathy and live lives of integrity and have a sense of wellness. And after we developed that Portrait of a Graduate, we moved into creating a strategic plan, which was written as a 5-year plan. So our vision, our mission is really all outlined for me. It's not new every year. It's something that continues on, and it was developed in collaboration with our students and our families, our board members, our community partners. So it's very holistic, and it includes teaching and learning and the evolution of wellness through inclusive schools and our allocation of resources.
Great. And I've had the opportunity to be part of that, and I think it's really nice to see how many community members we have participating, how many students we have participating. So it's not just coming from the school's perspective, it truly is a community effort for sure.
I'll just add on to that
Sure.
real quick. I think we are really focusing our efforts on our literacy and math development, which Bianca's probably going to touch on quite a bit, as well as student and staff wellness.
Perfect. So we can roll right into that. So in terms of supporting teachers, I know we have a lot of things happening with new curriculum and things. So what are some things we're doing in the city, and how does that align with our Portrait of a Graduate work?
Yeah, thank you. So when we think about our strategic plan, which was sort of built as a way to help us to ensure that we are working towards the skill set with our Portrait of a Graduate. When you look at the teaching and learning section of the strategic plan, there are some really lofty, deep goals that are multi-year goals. And really, part of the work that we do in schools is we are always iterating and looking to see if what we're doing is meeting the needs of our students, if we need to do anything differently, what's really happening, what is our data showing us. And so we have really, this year, through the work of our strategic plan, really pooled our resources to really look at specifically literacy, but also what's called a multi-tier system of support. And another thing that I do in my role is I manage our federal grants. So we've been able to leverage some of our federal title grant money to help us work on our professional development with our staff. A lot of what happens in education, sometimes people will say it's cyclical in that we might be doing work for a while on something and then we change to something else and we come back. And what we're seeing right now with literacy is a real need to sort of circle back to some older practices related to the science of reading. And so the state actually passed Act 139, which really focuses on reading and what schools need to do to ensure that we are using science of reading practices to help meet our needs of our students. So in Rutland City, we had a team of educators that came together, looked at our data and looked at our programming, and we made some intentional shifts in the last year to really look at our tier 1, so our universal instruction for all students in the classroom. And we made an adjustment to a new phonics program called UFly, which is new to us. It's been around for a little while, and a lot of other Vermont school districts and school districts throughout the nation are using the program. But that meant we needed new training for our teachers. So we were fortunate enough to have one trainer in the district, and now we have another trainer in the district that is able to sort of do the in-house training for our staff specifically on that program. But we've also been able to use a lot of our grant money to also run some science of reading and literacy coursework for our teachers through a partnership with VTSU Castleton. And so last year we ran 2 courses. One was about teaching students to learn to read, and another one was about teaching students how to read to learn. So depending on the age and grade level and developmental skills of our students. We hope to continue that work this year and do more coursework specific in the area of literacy with our teachers. In addition, we've also done some district-led professional development from things such as working with multilingual learners. We ran last year a wilderness first aid and CPR and lifeguarding coursework for our teachers' professional development, which again was funded through some of our Safe and Healthy School title money. And also, we're exploring things like with the ever-changing needs of our student population, what are some other ways we can think about making learning engaging, think about our classroom environments. So that's some of our professional development. District-wide, we did some work with our teacher leaders and our administrators around multi-tiered systems of support to respond to student learning, and how our teachers can work collaboratively to review data and use that data to inform their instruction. So we're still working on that, and that's been a real push for us academically.
And I really enjoy how we are aligning each building and providing a consistent approach across the district. I think that's very valuable. And when we're analyzing data, we can look at a common language, which is, I think, very, very helpful for sure. So you mentioned a lot of different ways that we're implementing literacy and things like that. Carrie, can you talk a little bit about how we're supporting all learners? I feel in Rutland City we have access to many supports and we're able to meet the needs of our students. So maybe you can touch on what are some of those services that we offer to support all learners.
Sure. I agree with you wholeheartedly. I think Rutland City is very fortunate that we have so many opportunities for our students, and whether we are trying to match their needs academically to where they're at. We have teachers that are working hard on that. We have some students that receive some small group support. We might have some additional support in classrooms. We have some classrooms that are designed for a certain type of learner. We have a lot of outreach opportunities. We have something we like to call Rutland outdoor programs, which is, getting our kids out in the community, in our own backyards, and experiencing things that they can do, every day. Depending on the season, we have some alternative programs for students that might not fit in a traditional classroom setting. We have, the high school. We have life skills. We have trying to think. We have life skills at the intermediate level, the middle school level, the high school level. Really looking at just what each individual student needs, and trying to wrap around that. We work with our community on really, seeing not just academically what they need, but how we can support in all aspects. So.
I know we had a presenter come from the situation table, which is something new to our community, and now Rutland City is joining that table. Can you speak a little bit about what that is and how families, we're now talking to the community of Rutland here, and so how might this situation table support families within our community?
Yeah, I think it's I don't know where I'm looking. I think it's a great opportunity for us as a school district to be involved in. Pam and I went to a little training they had up north, and it was eye-opening to see that things that we do in our school, we have coordinated service plans where we really try to wrap around the student on the situation table. I see it very similar, only it is wrapping around an entire family. And anyone, whether it is a medical office, the hospital, the police, Rutland Mental Health, DCF, the educational setting, wherever there seems to be a known situation, that they can bring it to the situation table. It meets once a week. The group looks at, who can help support that. Maybe it's with housing prevention. Maybe it's, there's
Ride to the doctors.
Ride to the doctors. There's something, maybe it has something to do with addiction, and there's Turning Point there. There's just a large presence at the table so that people can work together to help our community, and then ultimately that our children are impacted. So for us in the school system, it really benefits
I think I said there were 28 different partners present at the table. And so when someone brings a case or a situation to the group and presents it, it's kind of what does the person need, and then how many different folks at that table representing different partnerships in our community can help to support, and then they work directly with that individual to help get them the support that they need to kind of just take that extra edge off. Maybe they normally they can survive pretty well, but something has happened and they've just gotten to the point and they need someone to help, and that's what it's for. And I think Rutland is great at helping our neighbors.
Takes a village, right?
Yeah,
and that
it
is
does.
totally like this new approach, or what, they've been doing it since the spring.
April.
Right?
Yeah, and I think they said they've helped like 37 different people, and the school just came to the table, and when I'm the rep, and when I introduced myself, not because it was me, but they were just so happy to have the school part of it, because they know that our students are impacted, and if they can help support that, that's really what we all want.
Awesome. I know we, like offer a lot of supports externally and internally. Just how are we able to meet the needs of all the students in terms of what they're doing academically? I know there's some programs at the high school. We have Stafford. I don't know, Bianca, do you want to speak a little bit about some extra added bonuses that we have other than traditional classroom settings for our students?
Yeah, I do think, as Carrie was talking about, we really tried to meet the needs of all of our students, which are very unique and different, especially as a student gets further along in their education, they begin to think about what they might want to do after they graduate. And so we really look to try to personalize the learning as best we can for individual students. And we do that through different programming we have, like our Grove Street campus, where students might, be working while they're going to school, and they're working to look at their credits a little bit differently. We have students enrolled in Stafford Technical Center, which is really a huge asset, not just to Rutland City Public Schools, but to our entire community. And they have many sending schools that go there. The students at Stafford are out on co-ops in their second year in their program usually, and they're out working in the field. Many of them are getting paid for that experience. They're building those career-ready skills, and they're also engaged in college courses as a part of their programming as well, so that when students leave Stafford, they have many opportunities. They could continue in their education, they can go into the field. Many of our students have licensure that they receive through their programs, like in their first year in health careers, they may achieve their LNA license right away. So Stafford offers a great amount to our community. We also have similar programming for students at Rutland High School as well. We have our Place Internship program, and we've actually over the last couple years expanded our life skills program. So we're looking at helping students at a young age think about life after high school and what that might look like, what might interest them. They have some career exploration classes that they can take. Place Internship will put students out working with a community partner, doing a service-based internship where they're learning about a career that might interest them, and then they're also giving back to the community partner through a service learning project that they're doing. Within the high school, there's a lot of other opportunities as well. We try to trickle that down to our lower grades as well. We have community partners that come in, even if it's for something like a character trait assembly or a hero assembly in one of our primary buildings, where they may have a community member come in and talk about something like adaptability and how they use that in that career. It gets our students connected at a very young age. And really thinking about those opportunities, and we try to build that into the programming that we offer to students in all different places. I think Pam might talk about some of our wellness activities that are connected to that as well, particularly when I think about our middle school and some of what they're offering and what those opportunities look like. But we really try to look at the whole student and how can we make them not only show competency in portrait of a graduate characteristics, but how can we make them career or college ready for whatever they might be interested in doing when they leave us.
Great, thank you. I know at the intermediate school we have robotics club that has taken off. We have the spelling bee that has started. So there's, a lot of different ways to pique interest for sure. So just in terms, I know we're 'tis the season for budget season. How are we approaching the budget? Because I think that's really part of what we do here in the community, and I know that we'll have business office folks on at a later segment, but just starting the process, what does that look like, and what should the community do to be more involved in that process?
Thanks. We have started the budget process earlier this year, even earlier than last, I think, and that a lot of that has come out of our strategic plan work and identifying what our goals are, the reading, math, wellness, and then what are some resources that we need in order to meet those goals. So we have started having budget meetings this week with our building leaders to talk about what are some of their what they need to change within the building in order to help move in that direction, and what are their priorities, what are some areas that we should shift our resources to reallocate. Folks should just stay tuned, watch the board meetings,
for sure.
And certainly you said we will have a segment here. We'll also put information on our website, but just keeping abreast of what's happening and how that's evolving.
Great. Yeah, I think one way to stay involved is our school websites. That's
Yeah.
one focus for us this year is really keeping information updated. So if you need any current information, check out the websites for each individual school. Pam, so this is your first year.
Yeah.
Not even year, first couple of months, July 1, right?
Yeah.
So what are you seeing as some of your successes starting this new school year?
I would say they're not my successes. I would say
Well,
they're
the district's. Let's
successes.
say, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, implemented by you.
I have a
Let's
few
hear it.
things
Let's hear
that,
it.
as you were talking, I was jotting some notes. I think we've had a very enthusiastic start. I have loved seeing all of the teachers interact with students. I think one of the best places to be on the first day of school is at a
for sure.
primary building, and to see the excitement, not only the students, but the teachers and how happy they are to see students. So on the first day, I was able to make it to Northwest, Northeast, and the intermediate school, and I think the
Yeah.
teachers and the support staff were just as happy as
I agree.
the kids.
Definitely.
A few things: we increased our full-time equivalent in physical education in the district, so that our youngest students have opportunities for physical movement twice a week instead of just once. It's great for them. It helps to work on our wellness goals, but it also is a state standard. So it's great
That's
to bring us
awesome.
up to that state standard. Bianca talked a little bit about folks learning about our personalized learning communities. So, and that is making sure that we have our standards set, assessing students, and then analyzing the results of those assessments to make sure that we are intervening where necessary and extending where necessary. Sorry, I'm going to keep going. We have
Please,
a lot.
keep going.
We now have a district-wide wellness team. What we noticed in our strategic plan work is that different pockets of our district we're addressing staff wellness with varying levels of support. And so we now have a district-wide wellness team so that the entire district can benefit from those efforts. We also are working on prioritizing access for students to be able to attend school-wide events in the evening. One of the things that we learned is that some kids would like to participate in the evening events, but they don't have a way to do so for a variety of reasons. So we're working at trying to address some of those barriers so that all kids can participate if they'd like. One of my roles is to oversee our systems to make sure that they are in alignment. And one of the things that I'm excited to share is that I've noticed how much every little bit, whether it's maintenance or building leadership, no matter the role, it always comes back to what's the impact on students. And so if we make this choice, what's the impact, positive or negative, for students, and weighing that in. And I would say that's definitely a cultural piece that I've noticed.
That's great.
Thanks.
Sounds fantastic. What message would each of you like to send to families or community members that are watching? What's something that you feel is like really important information that they hear from us here sitting, representing Rutland City Public Schools? I would say, can I start? I'll let you guys think.
Yeah.
It's your show.
It's our show. But I was just thinking, we had open house at the intermediate school. It was so well attended. It was really well attended. And I was just saying, some of my own personal goals for the intermediate school, but really for everybody. My priority is to make sure kids come to school happy and healthy and safe. Yes, we're here to educate them, but I feel safety is a really big thing for us. And if, see something, say something. I think families and community members need to feel comfortable reaching out to the schools whenever anything is happening, whether they think it's so small or so large. I feel like the more communication we have with our families and our community members, the stronger we'll be. So I really want to make sure the community hears that for sure.
I see now why you went first.
Well, I had in my head, I was like, this is really important to me, but so.
I would underscore that safety piece.
Yeah,
it's
it's
a
huge.
base level of everything that we do. I think I would say thank you to our parents, our families, our community members for your partnership. As you mentioned earlier, it takes a village. And whether it is offering an internship or coming in to read with our students or making sure your child is well rested when they come to school, that is definitely a partnership. And so I would just communicate my appreciation.
Yeah, I'll echo those thoughts, and I'll also say that I think it's really essential to focus on the fact that we are a team and we're working together to support students. So, I think I've always said that a parent is their, or a caregiver is their child's best advocate. You know your child well, and also have trust that the educators working with your child every day really have the best interest of the child in mind, and that's the whole child. So it's not just the academics, it's the social emotional pieces as well. And it is important that we approach this as a team to help support students, because that is how we're going to help them to thrive and be their personal best. And if we're all really coming at this from the lens of supporting students, then we really are able to sort of work together to ensure that we're doing the best we can for each and every student.
For sure.
Yeah, anything I'm going to say is be redundant.
You want to wrap it up?
Communicate. We're a team, and don't be afraid to ask questions. And it's not that we have all the answers, but together we can come to some kind of resolution, I'm sure. So just work with us, and we are more than willing to work with you.
Perfect. All right, before we have to have something a little personal, because that was very, very formal. Let's change it up. All right, let's hear one fun fact about each of you. Do you want to go first, Carrie? Or do you want to wait?
Oh, sure.
Since you went last, I'll have you go first.
Sure, give me the easy one to go first with.
Fun fact about Carrie.
Fun fact about me. I have a pretty large sweet tooth, and I will say, as the former principal at the intermediate school, it was always somebody's birthday. So I always was getting, cupcakes and cookies or something, and I missed that at Longfellow. That's my plug for you to remember that I have a sweet tooth. So yeah, that's a fun fact about me.
All right.
Well, some people know this about me, but something that I'm really proud of is that my initial degree is in acting and directing, and
That's why she was okay with coming here.
I actually I really love watching live performances in the arts and celebrating that, but I feel as though, I use my degree every day in the work that I do in our schools to help support students, and so I'd love to talk about a show. Anyone wants to talk about live performances, I'm all about it.
I did just go to Hamilton.
Ooh, very exciting. Good show.
My fun fact, well, if you know me, you know that I might plug that I love my birthday. And
I love your birthday. I love your birthday month.
Well, that's because it's your birthday
It
month.
is.
Yes, November 19th is my birthday. And I have really nice handwriting, so people tell me.
You do have nice handwriting.
So people tell me.
All right. Do I get to do a fun fact?
Yeah.
Indeed, we're waiting.
I have a dog that some of you may know that I'm totally obsessed with. It's my first dog ever in my life, and he has his own Instagram. Fun fact.
Wow.
Yeah, pretty exciting, right?
I might have to look them up.
All right, I'm not going to disclose his handle publicly, but here. All right, any other final thoughts? Are we good?
No, thank you.
Thank you guys for joining, for sure.
Thanks for watching.
So thank you so much for watching, and stay tuned for some upcoming segments.